You ever watch a reality show so messy that you start wondering if it's even reality anymore? Well, grab your popcorn because Huntsville just served up another 5-alarm scandal. OWN Network just slammed the door shut again on the one woman who manages to trend without ever stepping foot on the set, ArionneCurry. Yep, the alleged side piece turned internet firestarter who's been haunting Martell Holt's storyline like a ghost he can't exorcise. But here's the twist. Martell is not taking this ban lightly. Word on the street is he's fuming, and threatening to blow the whole franchise sky high if OWN doesn't let his so-called real life play out on camera. Is this just a desperate cry for attention from a man whose storyline has gone flat? Or is there something bigger brewing behind the scenes? Did OWN just save its reputation or light the fuse for its biggest explosion yet? And what's Arionne doing right now? Rumor says she's already sharpening her Instagram captions, ready to drag everyone from MelodyShari to CarlosKing himself. So buckle up, because tonight, we're diving headfirst into the storm OWN tried to contain, but might have just made a whole lot worse. The storm brewing around Love and Marriage Huntsville has reached the point where even the cameras are scared to roll. The scandals circling Martell Holt and ArionneCurry has turned into something that feels less like a show and more like a case study in chaos. It all begins with Martell, once the polished face of ambition and family values, who is now clinging to relevance through the same storyline that ruined his reputation. His affair with Arionne was never a secret, but the fallout has stretched far beyond gossip. OWN Network, desperate to protect the image of successful black couples, has officially blocked Arionne from filming yet again. And this decision has lit a fuse that everyone in Huntsville can feel burning. Martell is furious. Insiders say he has been pacing through production meetings, demanding that if the show claims to be real, then his real life needs to be shown. But OWN executives have made it clear that Arionne is not welcome anywhere near the cameras. Behind the scenes, she has become the ghost of the series, haunting it through social media, interviews, and the endless fan debates that keep her name alive even without a single frame of airtime. People close to production claim that Martell is using every excuse possible to push her into the storyline, arguing that he cannot tell his truth if Arionne is silenced. But the network does not see truth. They see trouble. And trouble is the one thing this show already has too much of. The executives reportedly call her unpredictable, saying she could turn any scene into a live grenade. It is not about morality anymore, it is about control. Once you give someone like Arionne a platform, there is no taking it back, because she thrives on controversy. Every post, every cryptic comment, every 3 a.m. rant gives the public exactly what they crave. And that is the paradox. The audience cannot stand her, but they cannot look away either. For Martell, this obsession is a golden ticket. He has watched his storylines dry up, his businesses struggle, though his once perfect image crumble, while his ex-wife Melody has transformed heartbreak into empire. Every success Melody achieves makes his stagnation more visible. Every time she wins an award or launches a new project, Martell's social media posts grow longer and more defensive. He knows the viewers have shifted their sympathy, so he turns to the one person who can still get people talking, even if it means feeding into the very chaos that destroyed him. To him, Arionne is not just a partner. She is his last chance at relevance. But OWN does not play by those rules. They built this show on the image of couples striving, not imploding. Including Arionne would not just shift the tone, it would rewrite the entire premise. Imagine calling it Love and Marriage while featuring a woman who represents the collapse of both. It would be like inviting the Wrecking Ball to host a home renovation show. Producers have watched what happens when Arionne takes control of a narrative. Her social media has already turned into its own reality show, full of subliminal threats, petty shade, and declarations of vengeance. She does not follow scripts or boundaries. She goes live without warning, speaks without filters, and laughs while chaos burns around her. That kind of unpredictability terrifies OWN, They have seen other reality franchises fall apart because of unchecked drama, and they refuse to let Huntsville become one of them. But the more they push her away, the louder the conversation gets. Every rejection fuels Martell's defiance and Arionne's bitterness. Together, they have turned being excluded into a storyline of its own, one that is playing out in the public eye with no need for cameras or contracts, as the tension between Martell Holt and OWN reaches boiling point. Whispers from inside production suggest things are far worse than what the public sees. People close to this situation claim Martell has been calling emergency meetings, demanding to know why ArionneCurry keeps being blocked from filming. He insists that the viewers deserve to see the woman he shares a child with, and that cutting her out of the picture makes his storyline incomplete. But what he sees as truth, the network sees as risk management. The executives at OWN have spent months carefully crafting a balance between drama and decorum, trying to preserve the idea that Love and Marriage Huntsville represents strength, ambition, and the power of rebuilding. Arionne's entrance, they believe, would burn that bridge instantly. Anonymous sources claim that one internal memo from OWN described her as a walking PR hazard and compared giving her screen time to handing gasoline to someone already holding a lit match behind closed doors. Producers reportedly fear that if Arionne ever steps on set, all boundaries would collapse. They have watched her social media antics, her late-night rants, and her unapologetic digs at cast members, and they know she is not the type to follow production notes or editing guidance. One assistant producer allegedly said that if Arionne gets one mic, we'll have to film in fireproof suits. The entire show thrives on controlled chaos, the kind where drama sells but doesn't destroy. And that control is exactly what she threatens to take away, while OWN scrambles to keep her out. Martell seems determined to drag her in by any means necessary. Reports say he's been showing up to filming locations with her unannounced, creating tension among cast members who refuse to interact with her. Melody has made it clear she will not film a single scene involving her ex-husband's mistress, and she has the influence and fan loyalty to back up that demand. Sources claim that during one heated call, Martell warned producers that if Arionne is not allowed to tell her side, he would stop filming altogether. But OWN knows he needs the show more than the show needs him. His businesses have slowed, his public image is damaged, and his appearances outside of the series barely draw attention. Without the platform, his relevance fades, and he knows it. That desperation is why insiders describe him as unpredictable and volatile lately. He is cornered, clinging to a narrative that everyone else has already moved past. Meanwhile, Arionne herself has been fanning the flames in her own way. Every time she's denied access to the show, she takes to Instagram with cryptic captions, indirect shots, and posts that send fans into full detective mode. Her infamous Chucky meme post, where she implied she was ready to get revenge, was only one of many examples. She thrives on attention, even if it comes from outrage. According to one alleged crew member, her social media meltdowns have been a recurring topic of discussion in production meetings, with executives debating whether her behavior could harm sponsorships or partnerships connected to the show. The conclusion has always been the same: keep her away. Still, the irony is that the more they try to silence her, the louder her presence becomes. Every episode that airs without her triggers online debates. Fans argue in comment sections about whether she deserves a chance to tell her side, while others insist she has no place in a show built around marriages she helped destroy. It has become a cultural tug-of-war between authenticity and accountability. Asterisk, the fake whispers go even further. Some online insiders claim that Martell and Arionne have been secretly filming their own version of reality, using private videographers to create footage they can leak if OWN continues to block them. One source even alleged that they were planning to launch their own YouTube series titled Unfiltered Huntsville, supposedly showing what really happens behind the cameras. Whether this is true or not, the rumor alone sent waves across social media, with fans both horrified and curious. The idea of Martell and Arionne running their own rogue production only adds to the image of a man spiraling out of control. defying the very machine that made him famous. And the timing could not be worse, because OWN reportedly has sponsors threatening to pull funding if the controversy escalates further. Arionne's frustration has also taken on a financial tone. According to speculation, she feels that the network and the cast have all profited from her pain while she remains unpaid and vilified. She sees the show's success as built partly on her name. Yet she has no contracts, no royalties, and no formal acknowledgement. That sense of injustice drives her late-night posts, her claims of being silenced, and her need to expose what she believes is the hypocrisy of the entire franchise. She has allegedly told friends that she will make them regret leaving her out, and that everybody's skeletons are coming out soon. Whether these are real threats or emotional reactions, the statement itself has enough weight to make people nervous. Cast members have reportedly tightened their circles, fearing she might leak old texts or private moments from when the scandal first broke. Through all of this, OWN continues walking a tightrope. They know controversy brings ratings, but they also understand that some scandals can burn too hot to handle. Executives fear that giving Arionne a platform might alienate the show's core audience, especially those who have rallied around Melody's story of strength and self-respect. For them, this is not just another feud. It's about what the show represents. If Arionne gets on screen, it could rewrite the narrative completely, turning a show built on redemption and rebuilding into one defined by betrayal and chaos. And yet, the very drama they are trying to avoid is what keeps viewers glued to every episode, every teaser, and every live stream. The irony is cruel but undeniable. The woman they are keeping off camera has become the biggest storyline of all, and no one knows how long they can keep pretending she isn't part of the picture. The chaos surrounding Martell Holt and ArionneCurry has now grown into something that feels bigger than the show itself. OWN Network thought they could contain the storm by refusing to let her film, but instead they have turned her into a myth, a forbidden figure who now controls the narrative from the shadows. Every decision they make to silence her only gives her more power online, where she spins this story her way and keeps the audience guessing about what really goes on behind the scenes. She posts vague captions that send fans into frenzy, and Martell quietly amplifies it with his own bitterness disguised as truth. Together, they have formed a dangerous alliance built on resentment, the kind that thrives on drama and destruction. People close to production claim that Martell has been venting about the network to anyone who will listen, saying he feels betrayed, censored, and misrepresented. He reportedly told one confidant that OWN made him look like the villain while everyone else got to play hero, and that Arionne is the only one who has his back. It is the kind of thinking that worries executives, because it shows he has stopped seeing the difference between redemption and chaos. For Martell, attention equals power, and if attention comes through scandal, then so be it. The more the public reacts, the more he believes he matters. Arionne understands this game all too well. She has learned that she does not need the show to be part of the show. By keeping herself just out of reach, she creates mystery, and mystery keeps her trending. She has become her own kind of reality star. One who does not answer to producers or contracts. One who can speak freely and hit harder because she has nothing to lose. The danger for OWN is that the line between the show and the social media circus is starting to blur. Fans are now following her every move as if she were already part of the cast, which means she controls a slice of the show's audience without ever stepping on set. Behind the curtain, the tension has started spilling into real consequences. Sponsors have allegedly started asking questions about how much longer this scandal can be dragged out before it hurts the brand. Some crew members have grown tired of the secrecy. Staying the stress of working under constant threat of leaks has turned filming into a minefield. Others quietly admit that part of them wants to see what would happen if OWN finally gave in and let her film, just to see the explosion. There are even fake whispers that executives have debated shooting a secret test scene with her, off contract, just to gauge public reaction before making any official decision. Nothing has been confirmed, but the mere idea that such a thing could be happening behind the scenes has added another layer of speculation. Every rumor, every anonymous leak becomes a new headline that keeps the series in the spotlight. And in the world of reality television, being talked about is almost as valuable as being loved. Still, the price of that attention is rising fast. MelodyShari, the show's heart and its symbol of survival, has privately warned that she will walk away if Arionne is ever added to the cast. For OWN, losing Melody would be catastrophic. She represents everything the network built its identity on. The strength, the grace, the comeback story that gives the show purpose. Without her, the franchise loses its anchor. And that is a risk they cannot afford. As these internal battles intensify, Martell's behavior has become more erratic. People close to him describe a man torn between pride and panic. He wants to prove he is still relevant, but every move he makes seems to dig him deeper into controversy. He has reportedly started hinting at doing tell-all interviews, threatening to expose the truth about the show if producers continue to freeze him out. Whether he means it or not, the threat itself has stirred unease among the cast. They have seen what happens when Martell feels cornered. His temper, his impulsiveness, and his need to control the story make him unpredictable. OWN executives are said to be considering legal options if he violates his confidentiality agreements. The situation has reached a point where every statement he makes is carefully monitored. Every pose from Arionne dissected for hidden meanings. It is not just a show anymore. It has turned into a full-scale chess game between control and chaos. And no one seems sure who will win. The tragedy beneath. The spectacle is that the people at the center of it seem lost in their own creation. Martell was once the face of success, now trapped in the same scandal he cannot escape. Arionne was once the secret, now the shadow that overshadows everyone else. The show that once promised unity and inspiration has become a cautionary tale about fame without boundaries. OWN wanted to build a legacy, but instead it is battling a narrative it cannot fully control. Every decision to protect its brand comes with the cost of fueling the drama that keeps the audience watching. It is a perfect storm of ego, emotion, and exposure, where every choice feels like the wrong one, and every silence speaks louder than any confession. And through it all, Arionne's name continues to echo. A reminder that sometimes the person left outside the spotlight ends up holding it from the dark. And the story everyone tried to bury becomes the one no one can stop. Talking about So Now the question everyone is asking is, how far will this really go? Because at this point, the line between reality and chaos has completely vanished, and OWN might be sitting on the biggest ticking time bomb reality TV has ever seen. Will they finally cave and let ArionneCurry step in front of the cameras? Or will they risk losing Martell Holt completely to the spiral he seems trapped in? And what about Melody? Will she walk away if that happens? Or will she fight to protect what she built from the ground up? The answers might not come from any press release or episode, but from the audience itself, because this story is no longer just a scandal. It is a movement, fueled by public curiosity and online obsession. So what do you think? Should Arionne be allowed to film? Should Martell be held accountable? Or is this all just another master plan for attention? Drop your thoughts below, because this story is nowhere near over. Hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe, because the truth we are chasing next will make this entire scandal look like just the calm before the storm. The calm before the storm.